monsters hit me with a hot butter biscuit, so I have to change.
What do you say, Maggie? Water was on so loud I couldn't hear you.
Well, I just remarked that one of them no-neck monsters messed up my lovely lace dress, so I have to change.
Why you always call goofers kitties no-neck monsters?
Because they've got no necks. Isn't that a good enough reason?
Haven't they got any necks?
None visible. Their fat little heads are set on their fat little bodies without a bit of connection.
That's too bad.
Yes, it is too bad. They can't wring their necks if they've got no necks to wring. Isn't that right, honey? Yes, they're no-neck monsters. All no-neck people are monsters. Did you hear them? Hear them screaming? I don't know where their voice box are located since they don't got no necks. I swear, I got so nervous at that table tonight, I nearly threw back my head and uttered a scream so loud you could hear it across Louisiana and parts of Arkansas and Tennessee. I said to your charming sister-in-law, May, honey, couldn't you feed those 5 precious little things at a separate table with an oilcloth cover? They make such a mess, and the lace cloth looks so pretty. Well, she made an enormous eyes at me, and she said, oh no, on Big Daddy's birthday? Why, he would just never forgive me. Well, I want you to know that Big Daddy hadn't been at that table 2 minutes with those 5 little monsters drooling and slobbering over their food before he threw down his fork and shouted, Gooper! For God's sake, can't you feed those pigs at a trough in the kitchen? I swear, I simply could have died. Oh, just think of it, Brick. They've got 5 of them, and number 6 is on the way. They've brought all those kids down here like animals to Slater County Fair. Why, they have their kiddies doing tricks all the time. Junior, show Big Daddy how you do this. Show Big Daddy how you do that. Oh, sister, say your piece for Big Daddy. Sugar, show Big Daddy your dimples. Brother man, show Big Daddy how you stand on your head. This goes on all the time, along with constant little innuendos and remarks about how the fact you and I have produced no children are totally childless and therefore totally useless. You know, it's comical, but it is also disgusting because it is so obvious what they're up to.
What are they up to, Maggie?
Why, you know what they're up to.
No, I don't know what they're up to.
Well, I'll tell you what they're up to, boy mine. They're up to cutting you out of your father's estate, and now that we know Big Daddy's dying of cancer, oh, you know, there's so much light in this room. Do we what?
No, Big Daddy is dying of cancer.
Got the report today.
Oh.
Yes. We got the report today. It didn't surprise me, baby. I recognized the symptoms as soon as we got down here last spring. And I'm willing to bet that Brother Man and his wife recognized them too. That more than likely explains why their usual summer migration to the coolness of the Great Smokies was given up in favor of hustling down here every whipstitch with that whole screaming tribe. And why so many allusions have been made to Rainbow Hill lately. You know what Rainbow Hill is? A place that's famous for treating alcoholics and dope fiends in the movies.
I'm not in the movies.
No. You don't take dope. Otherwise, you're a perfect candidate for Rainbow Hill. And that's where they intend to ship you. Over my dead body. Over my dead body, they'll ship you there. But you know, nothing will please them better. Then Brother Man can get a hold of purse strings and do out remittances, sign off checks, cut off all credit whenever he'd like. Son of a bitch! How'd you like that, baby? Well, you've been doing just about everything in your power to bring this about. Yes, you've been doing just about everything in your power to aid and abet them in this scheme of theirs. quitting work, taking up the occupation of drinking, breaking your ankle last night on the high school athletic field. Doing what? Jumping hurdles at 2 or 3 in the morning. Just fantastic. You know, it got in the paper. Yes, the Clarksville Register carried a nice little item about it. A human interest story about a former high school athlete who decided to stage a one-man track meet, but was slightly out of condition and didn't clear the first hurdle. Well, you know, brother man, he claims he used his influence to make sure it didn't get over the AP or UP or every damn P. But Brick, you still have one advantage.
You say something, Maggie.
Big Daddy dotes on you, honey. And he can't stand brother man and his wife, that monster of fertility, May. You know how I know? By little expressions that flicker across his face whenever that woman is holding forth one of her choice topics, such as, oh, how she refused twilight sleep when the twins were delivered. Because motherhood is something that ought to be experienced fully, to fully understand the wonder and beauty of it. And how she made brother man go into the delivery room with her so he could experience the wonder and beauty of it too. Producing those 5 no-neck monsters. You know, Big Daddy, he shares my attitude towards those two, and well, as for me, I give him a laugh now and then. He tolerates me. In fact, I sometimes say Big Daddy harbors a little unconscious lech for me.
What makes you think Big Daddy has a lech for you, Maggie?
Oh, the way he draws his eyes down my body when he talks to me. The way he draws his eyes down to my boobs and licks his old chops.
That kind of talk is disgusting.
Did anyone ever tell you an ass-aching Puritan, Brick? Why, I think it is mighty fine that that old fellow on the doorstep of death still takes in my shape with what I think is deserved appreciation. You want to know something else? Big Daddy didn't even know how many Mays and Goopas had been produced. How many kids you got? He asked that dinner table, as if May and Goopa were just new acquaintances to him. Oh, Big Mama said he was joking, but that old boy wasn't joking, Lord, no. And when they informed him that they had 5 already, and number 6 was on the way, well, it seemed to come as a sort of unpleasant surprise. Scream, monsters! Yes, you should have been at that supper table, baby. You know, Big Daddy, he is the kindest and dearest old thing, but he hunches over his food as if he preferred not to notice anything else. Well, May and Gooba were sitting at that supper table side by side, directly across from Big Daddy, watching his face like hawks, while they jawed and jammered about the cuteness and brilliance of the no-neck monsters. And you know, all those no-neck monsters, they were just seated around the table, some on high chairs and some on the books of knowledge, all wearing stupid little white paper hats and on a Big Daddy's birthday. And you know, I want you to know that not once through supper, not for a moment, did May and Goopa stop exchanging signs, signals, and kicks and punches while they were like 2 card shots facing a supper. Even Big Mama, bless her old sweet soul, she is not the quickest and brightest thing in the world. She finally knows what they were up to. She said to Goopa, Goopa, what are you and May making all those sounds about? I swear I nearly choked on my chicken. You know, your brother Goopa still cherishes the illusion that he took a giant step up the social ladder when he married Miss May Flynn of the Memphis Flynns. Well, I have a piece of Spanish news for Goopa. Flynns never had anything in this world but money, and they lost that. They were nothing at all but fairly successful climbers. Well, now, May did come out 8 years in Memphis before I made my debut in Nashville. But I had friends at Ward Belmont who came from Memphis, and we used to visit each other on Christmas and spring vacations. So I know who ranks and who doesn't rank in Memphis. You know, Papa Flynn, he nearly escaped time in the federal pen for shady manipulations at the stock market when his chain stores closed. And you know, as for May, being a cotton carnival queen, which they so often remind us, lest we forget. Well, you know, that is just one honor that I do not envy her for. Having to sit on an old brass throne on a float in a parade riding down Main Street, waving and bowing and blowing kisses to all the trash in the street. You know what happened to poor little May?
No. What happened to little May?
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
Mm-hmm. Some old drunk leaned out the hotel gaioso and yelled, "Hey, Queenie! Hey, hey, Queenie!" Oh, poor May looked up, flashed him a radiant smile, and he spit a wad of tobacco juice right in May's face.
What do you know about that?
What do I know about it? I was there. I saw it.
Must have been kind of funny.
Yeah, May didn't think so. She had hysterics. She screamed like a banshee. They had to stop the whole parade and pull her off her throat. Why are you looking at me like that?
Like what, Maggie?
The way you were just looking at me before I caught your eye in the mirror. I don't know how to describe it, but it froze my blood. You know, I've caught you looking at me like that so often lately. What are you thinking of when you're looking at me like that?
I wasn't conscious of looking at you, Maggie.
Well, I was conscious of it. What were you thinking?
I don't remember thinking of anything.
Don't you think I know that
No what, Maggie?
that I've gone through this hideous transformation, become hard, frantic, cruel. That's what you've been noticing in me lately. Well, how could you help but notice it? That's all right. I'm not thin-skinned anymore. I can't afford to be thin-skinned anymore. But Brick,
Did you say something?
I was going to say something. That I get lonely. Very.
Everybody gets that.
Living with someone you love can be lonelier than living entirely alone if one that you love doesn't love you.
Would you like to live alone, Maggie?
No! God, I wouldn't! Did you have a nice shower? Was the water cool?
No.
But it made you feel fresh, huh?
Fresher.
I know something would make you feel much fresher.
What?
An alcohol rub. Or cologne, a rub with cologne.
That's good after a workout, but I haven't been working out, Maggie.
You've kept in good shape, though.
You think so, Maggie?
I always thought drinking men lost their looks, but I was plainly mistaken.
Why? Thanks, Maggie.
You're the only drinking man I know who never seems to put fat on.
I'm getting softer, Maggie.
Well, it was bound to soften you up sooner or later. It was just beginning to soften up Skipper when... I'm sorry. You know, I never could keep my fingers off a sore. I wish you would lose your looks. You know, it would make the martyrdom of St. Maggie a little more bearable. But no such damn luck. Well, I actually think you've gotten better looking since you've gone on the bottle. Yeah. A person who didn't know you would never know you had a tense nerve or strained muscle in your body. And you know, you've always seemed to have that sort of detached quality. As if you were playing a game without much concern whether you won or lost it. And now that you've lost the game, not lost, but just quit playing. You have that sort of charm that usually only exists in the hopelessly sick or old people. The charm of the defeated. You look so cool. So cool, so enviably cool.
Now look at here, boy. Let me show you how to get out of that.
Oh, they're playing croquet. Oh, and the moon is out. It's white. Just begin to turn a little bit yellow. You were a wonderful lover. Such a wonderful person to go to bed with, and I think it was because you were really indifferent to it. Isn't that right? Never had any anxiety about it. Did it naturally, easily, slowly, with absolute charm and perfect calm. More like seating a woman at a table or opening the door for her than giving her any expression of longing for her. Yes, your indifference made you wonderful at lovemaking. Strange, but true.
Oh, that's a beauty. Yeah, I got your ball.
You know, if I thought you would never, never, never make love to me again, I would go down to the kitchen and find the longest and sharpest knife I could find and stick it straight in my heart. I swear that I would.
Watch out, you're gonna miss it. You just don't know me, boy.
But one thing that I do not have is the charm of the defeated. My hat is still in the ring, and I am determined to win.
You're too slippery for me.
Just like an eel, boy, just like an eel.
Tonight I'm going to tell you I love you. Maybe by then you'll be drunk enough to believe me. Yes. They're playing croquet. Big Daddy's dying of cancer. What were you thinking of when you were looking at me like that? Were you thinking of Skipper? Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, but laws of silence don't work. Laws of silence don't work here. Laws of silence don't work. When something is festering in your imagination or your mind, laws of silence don't work. It's like shutting and locking a door on a house on fire in hopes of forgetting that the house is burning. But not facing a fire doesn't put it out. Silence only magnifies a thing. It grows and festers in silence. It becomes malignant.
Give me my crutch.
Lean on me.
No, just give me my crutch.
Just lean on my shoulder.
I don't want to lean on your shoulder. I want my crutch. Are you going to give me my crutch later?
Here, take it!
Thanks.
We mustn't scream at each other. The walls in this house have ears. That's the first time I've heard you raise your voice in a long time, Brick. A crack in the wall of composure. Yes, I think that's a good sign. A sign of nerves in a player on the defensive.
It just hasn't happened yet, Maggie.
What?
The click I get in my head when I've had enough of this stuff to make me peaceful. You do me a favor.
Maybe I will. What favor?
Just keep your voice down.
I will do you that favor. I will speak in a whisper. If not, shut up completely. If you will just do me a favor and make that drink your last one till after the party.
What party?
Big Daddy's birthday party.
Is this Big Daddy's birthday?
You know it's Big Daddy's birthday.
No, I don't. I forgot it.
Well, I remembered for you.
Oh, good for you, Maggie.
Here, you just have to scribble a few lines right here on the card.
You just scribble something, Maggie.
It's got to be your handwriting. It's your present. I've already given him my present. It's got to be your handwriting.
I didn't get him a present.
Well, I got him one for you.
All right, you write the card then.
And heaven know you didn't remember his birthday.
I didn't remember his birthday.
You don't have to prove you didn't.
I don't want to fool him about it.
Just write love break for God's
No.
sake. You have to.
I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. You keep forgetting the conditions on which I agreed to stay on living with you.
I'm not living with you. We just occupy the same cage, that's all.
You've got to remember the conditions agreed on.
But they're impossible conditions.
Well, then why don't you just...
Get away. Hush. Is someone out there? Someone at the door?
May I enter a moment?
Oh, you. Yes. Come in, Mary.
Rick, is this thing yours?
Oh. Why, sister woman, that's my Diana trophy. I won at the intercollegiate archery contest out on the Ole Miss campus.
Well, it's a mighty dangerous thing to leave exposed around a house full of normal red-blooded children attracted to weapons.
Normal red-blooded children attracted to weapons ought to be taught to keep their hands off things that don't belong to them.
Maggie, honey, if you had children of your own, you'd know how funny that is. Now, lock this thing up and put away the key.
Sister woman, no one is plotting the destruction of your kitties. Brick and I still have our special archer's license. We're going hunting out on Moon Lake soon as the season starts. I just love running through chilly woods with dogs. Run, leap over obstructions.
How's the injured ankle, Brick?
Doesn't hurt, it just itches.
Brick, you should have been downstairs after supper. Kitty's put on a show. Polly played the piano, and Buster and Sonny on drums, and then they turned out the lights, and Dixie and Trixie performed a little toe dance in fairy costume with sparklers. Big Daddy beamed. He just beamed.
Oh, I bet. You know, I'm so sorry we missed it. But, sister woman, why did you give dog names to all your kitties?
Dogs' names?
Dixie, Trixie, Buster, Sonny, Polly. Why, it sounds like 4 dogs and a parrot.
Maggie, why are you so catty?
Because I'm a cat. Oh, but sister woman, why can't you take a joke?
Nothing pleases me more than a joke that's funny. Now, you know the real names of our kitties. Buster's real name is Robert, Sonny's real name is Saunders, and Trixie's real name is Marlene, and Dixie's real name is...
Hey, sister woman, it's over.
Intermission's over. See you later.
You know, I wonder what Dixie's real name is then.
Maggie, being catty doesn't help things any.
I know. Why am I so catty? Because I am consumed with envy and eaten up with longing. Brick, I'm going to lay out your beautiful Chanton silk suit from Rome and one of your monogrammed silk shirts. I'll put your cufflinks in those star sapphires to get you
Can't
west.
get trousers on over this plaster cast.
Yes, you can. I'll help you.
I'm not going to get dressed, Maggie.
Will you just put on a pair of white silk pajamas?
Yes, I'll do that for you, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't mention it.
Oh, Brick, how long does this have to go on? This punishment. Haven't I done my time? Served my term? Can't I apply for a pardon?
Maggie, you're spoiling my liquor. Lately, your voice always sounds like you've been running upstairs to warn somebody that the house was on fire.
Well, no wonder. No wonder. You know what I feel like all the time? I feel like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Tell me, Maggie, what is the victory of a cat on a hot tin roof? I wish I knew.
Just staying on it, I guess. Just as long as she can.
Just jump off the roof then, Maggie. Jump off it. Cats jump off roofs all the time. Lay on their 4 feet, uninjured.
Oh, yes.
Do it, for God's sake, do it.
Do what?
Take a lover.
Oh, I can't see a man but you. Even with my eyes closed, I still just see you. Why can't you get ugly, Brick? Why can't you get fat or ugly or something so I could stand it? Oh, well, the concert's still going on. Bravo, little no-necks, bravo!
What did you lock the door for?
To give us a little privacy for a while.
You know better, Maggie.
No, I don't know better.
Don't make a fool of yourself.
I don't mind making a fool of myself over you.
Well, I mind, Maggie. I feel embarrassed for you.
Then feel embarrassed. But don't continue my torture. I can't go on living under these conditions.
You agree to
I know what...
accept that condition.
I can't!
Let go, Maggie. Let go, Maggie!
Son!
What is it, Big Mama?
Son, I just had to run up here. We just got the most wonderful news about Big Daddy. I just had to run up here and tell. What's this door doing locked for? You think there are robbers in this house?
Big Mama, Brick's still dressed and he's not dressed yet.
Well, that's all right. It won't be the first time I've seen Brick not dressed. Now, come on over here and open this door.
Big Mama?
Here. I came through Goodway and May's gallery doors. Where's Brick? Brick, you hurry on out of there, son. I have the wonderful news to tell you. You know I hate locked doors in a house.
Yes, I know, Big Mama, but well, people have got to have some moments of privacy, don't they?
Not in my house, no ma'am. What you take off your dress for? It looked mighty sweet on you, honey.
Oh, I thought it looked sweet on me too, Big Mama, but one of those cute little table partners used it as a napkin. So,
What?
well, you know, May Goober, they're just so touchy about those children that they... Thanks, Big Mama. That you can't say there's any room for improvement with that shopkeeper. Now,
Hurry out here, Brick. Shoot, Maggie, you just don't like children.
I do so like children. Adore them. Well brought up.
Well, then why don't you have yourself some and bring them up well instead of always picking on May and Goopas?
Hey, Big Mama, Betsy and Hugh's got to go. They're waiting to tell you goodbye.
Hold your horses. I'll be down in a jiffy.
Yes, ma'am.
Brick, can you hear me, son? I just had to let you know that we got this wonderful news from the laboratory over at the Osler Clinic. Big Daddy's report is completely negative. There is nothing wrong with that man except a little functional thing called a spastic colon. Can you hear me, son?
Oh yeah, he can hear you, Big Mama.
Well, then why doesn't he say something? News like that ought to make the boy shout. Made me shout. I shouted, and I sobbed, and I fell right on down on my knees. Now look at the bruises on my kneecaps where they hit the floor. Both doctors saw me up off the floor. Big Daddy was furious with me. But after all the anxiety we have been through to get news like that on Big Daddy's birthday, oh, Let me tell you, it was just wonderful. He thought he had me fooled, but you could tell that news took a load off his mind. Why, he almost cried himself. Brick, now you hurry on and get dressed now. We're coming up here for Big Daddy's birthday party on account of your ankle. How's his ankle, Maggie?
Well, he broke it, Big Mama.
I know he broke it. Does it hurt him still?
Well, I'm afraid I
Miss
can't
Pollock's
give you that
residence.
information, Big Mama. You'll have to ask Brick if it still hurts him much or not.
It's Memphis, Miss Pollock. It's Miss Sally from Memphis.
Thanks, Daisy.
You're welcome.
Hello, Miss Sally? Yes, I was just going to give you a call, tell you about it.
Brick, don't.
Miss Sally, don't ever call me from the gay so lobby. Too much talk goes on in that lobby. It's no wonder you can't hear me. Now listen, Miss Sally. There's nothing seriously wrong with Big Daddy. Yes, ma'am. He just has what's called a spastic. Oh, shoot. Maggie, come talk to this fool woman. I have shouted myself breathless.
Yes, Miss Sally? Hello, this is Brick's wife, Maggie. It is so good to hear your voice. Well, can you hear mine? Well, good. Big Mama just wanted me to let you know that we just got the report from the Ashna Clinic, and what Big Dad has is spastic colon. Yes, a spastic colon. Spastic colon! Yes, goodbye, Miss Sally. Hope to see you real soon. She heard me perfectly. You know, I've come to realize with deaf people, the thing to do is not shout at them, but just enunciate clearly. Why, my Aunt Cornelia, you know, she was as deaf as the dead, but I can make her hear me just by speaking slowly, distinctly, close to her ear. Why, I would read her the commercial appeal every night, classified ads even. She heard every word I said. But she was a mean old thing. You know what I got when she died? Her unexpired subscriptions to 5 magazines and her Book of the Month Club. And you know, a library full of every dull book ever written. All else went to her hellcat of a sister. Meaner than she was, even.
Big Daddy says Miss Sally always has her hand out for something. She's quite a case. You know, I don't think he's mistaken. I do think the old thing has her hand out for something. But I don't think Big Daddy gives her nearly as much as he should.
Hey, Big Mama. Come on, Betsy and you can't wait no more.
Now you hold those people down there. I'll be right down. Shoot, Maggie, don't play dumb. Has he been drinking much of that stuff yet?
Oh, I don't know. I think he might have had a highball after supper.
Don't laugh about it. Some men stop drinking when they get married. Others stopped. My son never touched alcohol because...
That's not fair.
Fair or not, I have just one question for you. Do you make Rick happy in bed?
Why don't you ask if he makes me happy in bed?
Because I know that.
It works both ways.
Well, something's not right. You're childless, and my son drinks.
Come on, Big Mama.
I'm coming. When a marriage is on the rocks start right there. Right there.
Big Mama, that's just not fair. Who are you? fact.
Has Big Mama gone?
She's gone. You know, our sex life didn't just peter out in the normal way. It stopped itself short, long before the natural time for it to. And it's going to revive itself just as quick as that. I'm confident of it. That's what I've kept myself attractive for. For the time when you see me the way other men see me. Yes, other men see me, Brick, and they like what they see. Why, some of them would give their... Look, Brick. How high my body stays on me. Nothing has fallen. Not even a fraction. Other men still want me. My face looks strange sometimes. But I've kept my figure just as well as you've kept yours. Men admire it. What, just last week in Memphis? Everywhere I went, men just burned their eyes right through my clothes. At the country club, in restaurants, and at department stores. There wasn't a man I met or walked by who didn't just eat me up with his eyes and stop and turn around as I passed by. You know at Alice's party last month for her New York cousins, the best-looking man in the crowd tried to force his way into the powder room with me. Followed me right upstairs, right to the door, and tried to force his way in.
Why didn't you let him, Maggie?
Because I'm not that common, for one thing. No. You know, I was almost tempted to. You want to know who it was? It was Sonny Boy Maxwell, that's who.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Sonny Boy Maxwell. He was a good end runner, but had a little injury to his back and had to quit.
Yes. Well, he has no injury now. And has no wife and still has a lecture for me.
I see no reason to lock him out of a powder room in that case.
Have someone catch me at it? I'm not that stupid. Oh, I might someday cheat on you since you're so insultingly eager for me to. But if I do, you can be damn sure it'll be at a place and time where no one but me and the man know about it. Because I'm not going to give you any excuse for divorcing me, for being unfaithful or anything else.
Maggie, I would never divorce you for being unfaithful or anything else. Don't you know that? Hell, I'd be relieved to know you'd found yourself a lover.
Well, I'm not taking any chances. No, I'd rather stay on this hot tin roof.
Hot tin roof's no comfortable place to stay on.
Yeah. But I can stay on it just as long as I have to.
You could leave me, Maggie.
Don't want to and will not. Besides, if I do, you don't have a cent to pay for but what you get when Big Daddy leaves and he's dying of cancer.
Big Mama just said that he wasn't. That the report was okay.
That's because she got the same report they gave Big Daddy. And was just as taken in by it as he was, poor old things. But tonight they're gonna tell Big Mama the truth. After Big Daddy goes to bed, they're gonna tell her the truth, that he is dying of cancer. It's malignant and it's terminal.
Does Big Daddy know it?
Hell, do they ever know it? Nobody says you're dying. You have to fool them. They have to fool themselves.
Why?
Why? Because human beings dream of a life everlasting. But most of them want on earth and not in heaven. Well, that's how it is anyhow. Where did I put down my cigarette? I don't want to burn up the home place. Not with May and Goop and that 5 little no-necks in the house. So this is Big Daddy's last birthday. And you know, May and Goopa know it. Oh, they know it all right. That's why they've come down here with their whole screaming tribe. Because. You want to know something else? Big Daddy's made no will. Big Daddy's never made a will in his life. And that's what this campaign is afoot for. To impress him, forcibly as possible, with the fact that you drink and I've borne no children. You know, I'm fond of Big Daddy. I really am. I'm fond of him, you know.
Yes, I know you are.
I always admired him in spite of his coarseness, his 4-letter words and such. Because Big Daddy is what he is, and he makes no bones about it. He hasn't turned gentleman farmer. Oh, he's still a Mississippi redneck. Just as much of a redneck as he must have been when he was just overseer here at the Peter Straw and Jack O'Cello place. Now he has built it into the biggest and finest plantation in the Delta. I've always liked Big Daddy. Well, this is Big Daddy's last birthday. And I am sorry about it, but I'm facing the facts. It takes money to take care of a drinker, and that's the office to which I've been elected to lately.
You don't have to take care of me.
Yes, I do. 2 people in the boat have got to take care of each other. But you need more money to buy Echo Spring once the supply's exhausted. Or are you going to be satisfied with a 10-cent beer? May and Gooba are intended to freeze us out of your father's estate by the fact that you drink and I've borne no children. But Brick, oh, we can defeat that plan. We're gonna defeat that plan. Brick, I have been so damn poor all my life. You know, that's the truth, Brick.
I'm not saying it isn't.
Always had to suck up to people you didn't like because they had money and you're as poor as Job's turkey. You know, you don't know what it's like. Well, I'm gonna tell you what it's like. It's like you had to be 1,000 miles away from your precious Echo Spring and had to get back on it on that broken ankle without your crutch. Because that's what it's like to be as poor as Job's turkey and have to suck up to people you hated because they have money and all you have was a bunch of hand-me-down clothes and 3% government bonds. You know, my father, he loved his liquor. Hell, he fell in love with his liquor the way you fall in love with Echo Spring. My poor mama, having to maintain some semblance of social position, to keep up appearances, having to survive on $150 a month on those old government bonds. You know, the year I came out, the year I made my debut, I had just 2 evening dresses. One my mother made me from a pattern in Vogue, and the other a hand-me-down from some snotty rich cousin I hated. The dress that I married you in, Brick, was my grandmother's wedding gown. So that's why I'm like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Hi, Miss Brick. How you feeling?
You know, you can be young and without money, but you can't be old and without it. You've got to be old and with money because to be old and without it is just too awful. You've got to be one or the other. Be young or with money. And that's the truth, Brick. Well, there. Well, now I'm dressed. I'm dressed. There's nothing for me to do. Oh, my bracelets. You know, I've thought a lot about it. And I realized when I made my mistake. Yes, I made my mistake when I told you about that thing with Skipper. I never should have told you about that thing with Skipper. Fatal, and tell you about that thing with Skipper.
Maggie, you gotta shut up about Skipper. You hear me, Maggie? You shut up about Skipper.
You ought to understand, Skipper and I...
You don't think I'm serious, Maggie? Are you fooled by the fact that I am saying this quiet? Look, Maggie, what you're doing is a dangerous thing to do. You're fooling with something that nobody ought to fool with.
Rick, this time I'm gonna finish what I have to say to you. Yes, Skipper and I made love, if love you could call it, because it made both of us feel a little bit closer to you. You see, you son of a bitch, you ask too much of people, of me, of Skipper, of all the poor damned unlucky sons of bitches who happen to love you. And there was a whole pack of them. Yes, there was a whole pack of them beside me and Skipper. You ask too much of people who love you, you superior creature, you godlike being. And so we made love to dream it was you, both of us. Yes, that's the truth. What's so awful about it? Yes, I shouldn't have told you.
It was Skipper that told me about it, Maggie, not you.
I told you.
After he told me.
What does it matter who told you?
Hey, little girl. Hey, little girl. Hey, tell the folks to come upstairs. Bring everybody upstairs right now.
I can't stop myself. I'd go on telling you in front of them all if I had to.
Hey, do what I told you, little girl. Call them now.
Because it has got to be told. You never let me. It was one of those beautiful, ideal things they talk about in the Greek legends. It couldn't be anything else. You being you. You know, that's what made it so sad. That's what made it so awful. Because it was love that could never be brought about to anything even talked about plainly.
You've got to stop this.
Rick, I tell you, I understand. Can't you tell? I think I respect it. I think it was noble. Rick, but the one note I'm trying to make, the one thing I'm trying to say is that life has got to continue even after the dream of life is over. Well, I remember we double dated at college. Glass Fitzgerald and I, and you and Skipper. And it was more like a double date between you and Skipper. But Glass and I were just there to keep up appearances, make a good public impression.
Maggie, you want me to hit you with this crutch? Don't you know I could kill you with this crutch?
Good Lord, man, do you think I care if you did?
One man has one great, good, true thing in his life. One great, good thing which is true. I had friendship with Skipper, and you are naming it dirty.
I'm not naming it dirty. I'm naming it clean.
Not love with you, Maggie, but friendship with Skipper was that one great, true thing, and you are naming it dirty.
Then you've not been listening. Not understand a word I've been saying. I am naming it so damn clean that it killed poor Skipper. You two had something that has kept on ice. Yes, incorruptible, yes. And death was the only icebox in which you could keep it.
I married you, Maggie. Now, why would I marry you if I was...
Rick, just let me finish. I understand that it was only Skipper who harbored even an unconscious desire for anything not perfectly pure between you. Let me skip a little. You and I got married that summer right out of Ole Miss. We were happy, yes. We hit heaven every time we loved. But that fall, you and Skipper turned down wonderful jobs so you could continue being football heroes, pro football heroes. You organized the Dixie Stars that fall, so you two can continue being teammates forever. But you know, there was something not right about it, me included, between you. Skipper started hitting the bottle. You got that spinal injury. Couldn't play the Thanksgiving game in Chicago. Had to watch it from a traction bed in Toledo. And I went with Skipper. Dixie Stars lost that game because poor Skipper was drunk. And so that night, we drank together all night at that inn at the Blackstone. And when dawn was coming up over that lake, we were going out to take a dizzy, drunken look at it. I turned to Skipper and I said, Skipper, stop loving my husband. Or at least tell him he's got to let you admit it to him one way or another. And he just slapped me hard across the mouth. And then ran back, without stopping, I am sure, all the way to his room at the Blackstone. And when I went to his room that night, a little scratch on his door like a shy little mouse. And he made that pitiful, ineffectual attempt to prove that what I had said about him was not true. Ah! In this way, I destroyed him by telling him truth, that he and the world he was born and raised in, your and his world, had told him could not be told. From then on, Skipper was nothing at all but a receptacle for liquor and drugs. Who shot Cock Robin? I, with my merciful arrow. Ah! Miss me? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to whitewash my behavior. God, no. I'm not good, Brick. Nobody's good. I don't know why people have to pretend to be good. The rich and well-to-do can afford to respect moral patterns, conventional moral patterns. I can never afford to, but I'm honest. Can you give me credit for that? Will you please? Born poor, raised poor, and I expect to die poor. Unless I can get us something for when Big Daddy leaves, and he is dying of cancer. But Brick Skipper is dead. I am alive. Maggie the cat is alive. I am alive. I'm alive. Little girl, your mother or someone ought to teach you to knock at a door before you enter it. Otherwise, people might think you lack good breeding.
Yeah. What's Uncle Brick doing on the floor?
I tried to kill your Aunt Maggie, but I failed. And I fell. Little girl, will you hand me that crutch over here so I get up off this floor?
Yes, give your uncle his crutch. He's a cripple, honey. He broke his ankle last night, jumping hurdles on the high school athletic field.
What were you jumping hurdles for, Uncle Brick?
Because I used to jump them. People like to do what they used to do, even after they stop being able to do it.
Yes, there's your answer, little girl. Now go away, little girl. I said stop that, you monster, you little no-neck monster!
You're just jealous. Jealous because you can't have babies.
You see? They gloat over us being childless, even in front of those little no-neck monsters. Rick, I've been to a doctor, a gynecologist. I've been fully examined, and there's There's no reason why we can't have a child whenever we want one. And it's my time by the calendar to conceive. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me?
Yes, I hear you, Maggie. But how in hell on earth do you imagine that you're going to have a child by a man who can't stand you?
That is a problem that I will have to work out.
Come on, Big Daddy. We're all going up to Brick's room.
Here they come.